Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Zemo the Dad in DPS, and we're once again back with another episode of The Good, The Scrap, and The Scrap, series where I find and use weapons from Appalachia and see if they're going to put holes in freaks. Again, as usual, today's weapon is no different. Now, as with any video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all my relevant links down below, like my coffee link if you want to support me there, and my YouTube members if you would like to join Dad's army, or the chosen undad. Anyway, let's get on with the video. Look, it's that famous archer. What's his name? Lego something. Legoland. Oh, yeah. Legolando. That's a joke I'm going with. So today's weapon is a bow, and not just any bow. A Juggernaughts Vats Crit breaks 50% slower bow. Now, don't get me wrong, I've slagged and slated bows for ages, but I've never really used one. So we'll definitely get to see how it's going to do. Like the crossbows, I expect it's going to do big damage and be able to do competent kind of things in any situation. I just don't think it is going to be the big boy killer, just like the crossbow wasn't. It is pretty much as I expect going to be a very average weapon, but it could prove me wrong. Let's see and find out. Now, seeing as this is Juggernaughts, it puts me quite firmly on a very specific build, and that would be my full health, stealthy, commando-y type build. Obviously, I'm not using commando perks with this weapon for obvious reasons, but we'll definitely get to see how this does against the average enemy. And as you're seeing, it's not bad at all. Don't get me wrong, it's no queen killer, and on top of that, the freaking ghouls have seen me, even though, they shouldn't have. It's meant to be a silent ass weapon, but apparently not. Even aiming close range is actually not too bad. In fact, very easy to take out enemies. And then with the new feature, getting your ammo back is a snap. I mean, it has the same problem the crossbow had. This thing is going to not reload quickly. I mean, you have to take big gaps between the shots, but it's not like a black powder rifle in the sense that you are waiting for decades to shoot the damn thing. So for the fun factor, and if you want to go around and pretend you're a fantasy elf and or Robin Hood, it definitely has the ability to deal a lot of damage, and enemies that are easily one-shottable would be a good potential target. As you're seeing, this is a Juggernaughts weapon, so it isn't got the maximum possible damage either. That is the kind of nature of Juggernaut weapons. If you're using them, you are using a weapon that is never going to be max damage. I'm also using the exploding, well, as you can see, I'm using the explosive version of this weapon. So to get the most possible bang for my buck in terms of damage. You could probably get away with using the fire version, but I don't think that's any better. Realistically, I think explosive is the best damage type to go with. And again, I'm getting my ammo back from just killing these atypical enemies. So yeah, overall, it's not like the most amazing weapon in the game. Most weapons aren't, let's be honest. But it gets it done. I mean, if you're going to go farming and killing stuff, looking for legendaries, looking for scrap, yeah, it'll get you there. It'll get you what you need to do, and that's consistently what I recommend for a weapon. The ammo is so far pretty damn efficient, and you're not going to struggle. So, let's show you the build. Now, I've stated multiple times with this character, it is not a fully completed character. It doesn't have all the legendary perks it should do, therefore it doesn't have as many perks as it would do on one of my more powerful characters. But at the same time, the build does what it does. It's got all the relevant bow-related stuff there. We also have Grenadier just to increase that range, and Concentrated Fire so I can pick my targets when I'm shooting them. If I had more perception, I would have that level 2, and I'd have that level 2 as well, just so we're getting, again, the biggest bang for our buck. But that is what it is. There's not a lot that can be done about that when you are using a lower level and less stacked character. Either way, while you're ogling this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all the usual stuff. As usual, you guys know exactly where we go from here. After we test the weapon and I show you the build, we go and pay a visit to our very large, very angry friend, Jeff, who seems to be awake for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. Now, I am not expecting this to one-shot him, two-shot him, even three-shot. I'm expecting to do decent damage, cripple him a little bit, and then kill him. And it's living up to that. Unfortunately, we're not able to continue vatsing him to death. He hasn't technically seen us either. He is aware of something shooting at him, but he's not capable of locating me directly. On top of that, before he's even managed to find me, he's dead. You can't really ask more for a weapon than that. If it's able to kill your enemies before they can even retaliate, well, the weapon's doing well. Don't get me wrong, you're not making your ammo back off of Jeff. He's given me 6 of the freaking arrows that I shot into him back. But at the same time, he's dead. And now, as usual, we have the dreaded Mirelurk Queen, my least favourite enemy to fight in almost any given circumstance. Now, in terms of damage, it's actually not bad. You're seeing 200 to the legs there. The bigger issue is that she is a big old stinky that seems to be able to hone in on my ass no matter what I do. In Vats, you're not really getting that much of a difference damage. The crits are obviously helpful. This is going to kill her relatively easily, especially on a full health build, and in the way I'm doing it, I'm just sort of avoiding her. Whether it's worth the ammo, I suppose you could argue that arrows aren't exactly hard to come by. The enemies dropping ammo nowadays, if one drops arrows, it's typically dropping about 16 of them. So you are going to get your bang for your buck. Don't get me wrong, it's not quick though. It is one of those things where, like any weapon that's like this, where you have single shots against the bigger enemies, you are not getting the damage out that fast. But it's big damage that you get out. And as you're seeing, the Queen is not really doing much to me because she's not accurately hitting me with her splooge. And if we go for the head, let's just show you that. You're getting decent damage. She's going down, and she's going down relatively easily. So that's a win for me as well. Now the final question always falls to, how does this weapon do in daily ops? Now, what I'd say about today is that it is a combination of effects that do not bode well for this type of weapon. And the reason for that is it's freezing day. And unfortunately, freezing day, with a weapon that should primarily be used in stealth and has a long draw time, yeah. This is where this weapon will typically struggle. However, as you're seeing, it doesn't do bad damage, and the ammo you get back is massively in your favour. You're going to do well with this weapon in daily ops in general. But freezing day on uplink, yeah, I would recommend that you just avoid that. Just avoid that nonsense altogether. This just is hard mode for this weapon, and unfortunately every weapon suffers from some situations like that. I mean, some guns are just better suited to certain circumstances, and I mean, bows are no different. Freezing robots is definitely not one that I would want to face with this weapon, and unfortunately it's what I drew. I always seem to draw the short straw when it comes to it. If I was able to hide, yeah, this would be so much easier. But not being able to hide is kind of revealed a big shortfalling this weapon has. Don't get me wrong, I kind of knew that would be a bad thing, but it never really occurred to me right off the bat that, yeah, this is the shittest weapon in this scenario. But it's like melee weapons during Poison Day. Sometimes you just don't get the luck of the draw. But when you use it, decent damage, you get your ammo back in spades, I mean, I've went up to 300 from what, 200? So I'm gaining a ridiculous amount of ammo for a weapon that is firing very slowly, even at the best of times. And as you're seeing, as I'm firing, we're doing damage to a lot of enemies in the one go. So it is good for daily ops. It is very good for daily ops. It's just not the best on Freezing Robot Day. So yeah, weakness confirmed. So that's pretty much the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And as usual, if you'd like to support the channel further, there are the usual coffee link and the YouTube members down below. So yeah, let's thank our YouTube members, which are Golty, Wyatt, Blackburn, Wallers, me, Deofane Gaming, Colin G, Brian RMC, Peggy McKnight, Matasbo, Devilman Games, Marcus Carrasco, Scott S, Bubble Dude on Mom, Ranger McSprudel, and Anxiety Ranger. Big thanks to all of you. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed tonight's video and you will continue with your support. It's really appreciated. So yeah, bows. Never going to be N tier weapon, never going to be top tier, but it gets the job done. And even in spite of its weakness against the freezing, it did okay. I think it's very much hampered by the fact that these type of things are very gimmicky and they don't have as much utility as Commando, for example. But then again, most weapons don't. Commando is one of the best builds because it has so much utility, and that's why bows aren't as good. Don't get me wrong, per shot they do massive amounts of damage and they outdamage most rifles per shot, but it is that kind of way where slow shots can sometimes be fatal. Either way, I think it was a very interesting weapon. I actually enjoyed using it, and it might make into my rotation every so often. But with that, guys, we'll catch you all next time in the Wasteland.